Today I'm out here in Dayton, Washington, the once territorial capital of Washington, before it was a state. Today we're going to explore Dayton here. I figured we walk around and check out the town. There's lots of cool stuff. And first and foremost, you can see on the banner there, the courthouse. We're right in front of it currently right here. There's the courthouse behind me. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Hey Kelly, beautiful, beautiful afternoon here. We got out of the rain shadow that was up in Spokane, and we're down here in the sunshine. Beautiful sunshine, 60-degree weather. Just a beautiful, beautiful day out here. This is off of, Dayton is off of Highway 12 out here past Lewiston. So if you're going west on Highway 12, you will hit Dayton here. And as I said, this was once the territorial capital before this was a state. Yeah, that storm is moving its way inland and up towards the north is what I saw. But this is the Columbia County Courthouse now. It used to be the territorial courthouse. They've got a points of interest little placard here. I think the other placard tells about the courthouse here. But here, see, Lewis and Clark campsite was here outside of town. I believe it's up that way outside of town going towards the east. But Lewis and Clark camped near this spot. There's a lot of information on here. We're 6,000, or wait, no. Elevation 600 to 6,400 feet above sea level. That makes no sense. What it says. What is that supposed to mean? But you can see Lewis and Clark's camp spot a little bit in October 12th of 1805 is up the river from here. Lewis and Clark stopped for lunch at this spot near Marengo. First Homestead stage stop there. Starbucks is a really cool little place. I've been there twice. Need to go there again so I can get so I can show you guys it. You can see this is where we are, Dayton, which is on the North Fork of the Touche River. We're not too far from the Snake. The Snake is north of us here. Let's see if this one over here tells about the courthouse. I'm sure it does. All right, so here it is. City of Dayton, early history. So we are 1,614 feet above sea level here where we are right now. We have Celilo Falls in this area, Nez Perce Trail and Lewis and Clark Overland Trail in 1806 came through this area. And this is the Columbia County Courthouse. It is Washington's oldest courthouse. It was built in 1887. Construction of the territorial courthouse was completed 2 years before Washington became a state in 1889. Designed by local architect W.H. Burroughs, The courthouse was built using Dexter brick and colossal timbers of fir and pine hauled from the Blue Mountains by ox cart. Interest in the county's rich history spurred a decade of citizen effort to save the building, and restoration was completed in 1993. Decorative elements including the cupola, statuary, and ornamental stucco were restored, which this ornamental stucco was removed in 1930 to 1950. Iron railings are original. American eagles and blind justices are vintage but not original. Beginnings. Dayton's town site is on an ancient trade corridor known as the Celilo Falls or Nez Perce Trail. Lewis and Clark's Corps of Discovery passed through the heart of Dayton, near where you are standing, on their return from the Pacific Ocean on May 2nd, 1806. European settlers left the area during the Indian skirmishes in 1855 to 1858. Stockman Jesse N. Day homesteaded west of town in 1859, then founded Dayton in 1871. Despite 5 devastating fires in the late 1800s, Dayton flourished due to logging and farming booms. Agriculture sustained the community through the Great Depression of the 1930s and remains its lifeblood today. Some features about Dayton here. This has the Dayton Historic Railroad Depot that was built in 1881. It is the oldest existing railroad station in Washington. We got Dayton schools here. Eastern Washington's first public graded school was established here in 1880. Dayton High School, 1881, was the first public high school in Washington State. There are many homes and commercial buildings. The railroad depot and the courthouse are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And they have a little map of Dayton here. You see, the railroad is right behind the courthouse here. You can kind of see it down yonder. But we've got all sorts of stuff here. That's the historic depot is like down over around the corner over there. And we'll take a look at that, and we'll walk down this beautiful main street here. It is so cool. But let's get a little bit closer to the courthouse here so you guys can see some of the elements that they have out here. So they have some old artillery pieces here. Pretty neat. Oh, I just noticed that the stones have people's, or the bricks have people's initials in them. Like, it looks like company initials. Must have been everybody who funded the efforts to restore this. Another artillery gun. Beautiful front steps here. And there's the blind justice person up on top there. Pretty neat. They have a hall of records right over there behind where the sun is. It looks like that little place was built in 1939. This is just so cool. So let's go take a walk down here through downtown. It's really neat. There's an old theater across the street there called the Liberty. They're still doing movies there. Looks like this block was like early 1900s there. One of the buildings says 1906 on it. Beautiful brick buildings here. This looks like this is currently Puget Sound Energy's office here. Try to get a little further away from the buildings so we can angle. No date on the top of this one. Well, I guess we do have dates on these. This is the Dansker building, 1888. So now we know the dates of these. So we should have placards on most of the buildings here to tell us the dates, which is cool. Now I don't have to guess. I can smell food, man. It smells delicious. Yeah. So there's the railroad depot down there. We can go walk down there if you guys want to see that first. Let me know in the chat. Or else we'll go down the boulevard. Let me know, guys. You guys want me to walk down the boulevard first? Or go over to the depot? I'll let you guys have the choice where you guys want me to go to first. Well, we'll walk across the street here. The boulevard, okay. Sounds good. We'll do that, Kelly. That's kind of neat. Old cast iron deposit box for the bank. Is this still a bank? Don't know. Maybe it used to be a bank, but might not be here anymore. All right, so we're on the Weinhard block. It is built in 1898. Looks like a little thrift store here. A toy store. Pretty cool. Got a little cafe here, and this is quite a big opening here. No placard on this, or actually here it is. This will let us know what this was. Monet and Hamilton Hardware, 1910. Wow, that's cool. Hotel hardware. There must have been a business here, but it's gone now. So they got a whole bunch of parking back here. Cool mural. That's neat. They've got like an old, or maybe it's a newer vacancy sign for the hotel. Huh. Interesting. Oh, this is another Weinhard building, 1890. It's like a little coffee shop. The Bobcat Room. The home of Rick Dragon Dalton, the cocktail that made Dayton famous. I like these really old, elongated doors. This building is cool. Wow. You get a little bit further away so I can show you guys. Look at that. And it's for sale or lease too. This has got to have some giant ceilings in here. It's quaint. They're not too tall ceilings in there. Old wood floors too, original. Kind of neat. These tall doors are so cool. More tall doors. Man, this building's cool. Wow. Wow. So cool. Those doors are pink. Pages Floral and Gifts here. And the State Farm building on the end here. There's another depository box. What were you depositing in this building? Is this another bank? We must have had a couple banks on this boulevard here. Down yonder looks like there's an old barber pole thing down there, so there must have been a barber shop down there at one point in time. This boulevard is so cool. Looks like another little gift shop here. This building is 1930 here. Dingles. That's a fun name. There's like a loudspeaker on top of this building here. Interesting. Just the design and craftsmanship that went into these buildings is so cool. Just look at that. They made these things look so inviting, like the angled windows like draw you towards the door. Dingle's Hardware. That's it says right there, True Value Hardware Store. So it is a True Value store. Look at that old True Value sign. Wow. Well, I guess I missed this. This is cool. There's a really old door. Looks almost like the one in my house. Here's the newspaper, the Dayton Chronicle. They've got some really old equipment in there. They've got some historical pieces in there too. Oh, look at that. That's cool. They got a Lions Ferry railroad sign in there. And like an old air conditioning sign. Dude, this place is cool. Look at that. A horse in there. There's more than one. Interesting. Did I miss the sign for this building? Must not have. Look at that. A little top to that building there. That's kind of cool. Inland Cellular's building here was built in 1906. Dr. C.H. Day building. Wow. So just the old brick architecture, man, gets me every time. Love the brick buildings, man. And they made it with like even older style oldie westy elements too, with the wood underneath. But this one looks like it was remodeled too. Washington State University's Columbia County Extension place here. Here's another bar. My dad's place. Cocktails, draft beer, and cider. Pretty cool. There's my dad's place pizza. This is a cool building as well. This is interesting. It's like a brick. I wonder if there's like a patio or something beyond this. Kind of an interesting thing they did here. Columbia County office building. You can smell like old building. The main smell here, old building. This must be City Hall. So it looks like this is basically it for the downtown on this side. So we could transfer over here There's some more stuff down this way. I guess since we're here, we might as well just go and look at the old schoolhouse over here. And then we'll come back and we'll walk down the main stretch across the street. If you guys were here right now, you could smell like the old building smell, because it's a mainstay here in Dayton. Old building smell. You can coin that. All right. Make sure we're not going to get run over by anybody. We'll walk across the street here to Smith Hollow School. Look at that. Sun's starting to go over the top of go behind the hill over there. Just a beautiful day here. So here's the little thing to tell you about the schoolhouse here. So Smith Hollow Schoolhouse was built in 1900. This country schoolhouse was originally located in Smith Hollow, which is 8 miles north of Dayton. It serves grades 1 through 8 in Smith Hollow School District number 24 until 1933, when the district consolidated with Dayton. On into the 1980s, the school continued to be a meeting place and community center. The structure, which was donated to the Blue Mountain Heritage Society by Van and Deb Seeney, was moved in 2010 to this location on Dayton's historic pathway. The grants and donations paid for its restoration. You guys can see like an original photo of it. Beautiful. There's the school bell right there. Of course, it's closed. I'm sure you can go inside here when it's open. It is on the Washington State Heritage Register. Oh, there's an old bell. $1886 there. That's cool. I wonder if these were original bells that they relocated here. It looks like they're doing some more work on this too. They sure have a lot of bells. There was a little thing here that talked about this building. I believe I still have a segment in my drive folder that talks about this, and I might have to try to pull it up for you guys and like make a short out of it or something, so you guys can see. There used to be a thing that talked about this building. It was like I think it was like a hospital building or something, or like a place where you went to quarantine if you had like smallpox or something. I think that's what this was. I'm not sure, but don't quote me on that one. As I said, I'll try to find the little thing that I had on it the last time I came down here. I came down here like 4 years ago and shot footage down here. So I still have a bunch of that, but I was like, hey, why don't we just do a live video here today? I've been wanting to come back down here because the last time I was here, we didn't really have enough time to wander around everywhere. But I guess today we kind of still don't have too much time, unless we want to walk around here at night. which I don't know about that one. We'll walk back up here to the main drag, and we'll go across the street and walk on the other side. Show off some of the other buildings there, and then we'll walk to the historic depot once we get back down to the main road that goes to it. We might have to read this placard over here that's across the street and see what it says. There might be some interesting stuff here. It looks like it's a little park. But it does look like there's a crosswalk here. Did we hit the jackpot on timing? Or what? Nobody coming. Either way. All that good timing, my friends. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, this talks about the Hopkins Ridge wind facility. Little turbine place thing. Agriculture is the mainstay of Southeast Washington's economy. And here in Columbia County, another crop is making an important contribution: wind energy. About 15 miles northeast of Dayton is the Hopkins Ridge wind facility. Built in 2005 by Puget Sound Energy, the facility's large turbines are harvesting the area's prolific winds to produce clean, renewable energy, enough to serve about 40,000 homes. But Hopkins Ridge, like other wind farms in the region, is generating more than electricity. It is generating good jobs and sustainable economic activity. We passed those on the way into here. There's a big, giant wind facility up on the top of Highway 127 that you take to get down to down here to get into here. So let's see. That's the cool part to read there. Hopkins Ridge's mighty turbines. Hopkins Ridge can what the heck, man? I can't read right now. Hopkins Ridge 1.8 megawatt Vesta turbines, 87 in all, together can produce up to 157 megawatts of electricity. Each turbine is 351 feet tall from its base to the tip of a vertical blade. Turbine blades are 129 feet long, 1.6 feet wide at the tip, and 11.62 feet wide near the base. Each blade weighs over 7 tons. Wow. Each turbine's 3-blade rotor spins clockwise at 15.5 RPM, and the rotor diameter is 264 feet, wider than a Boeing 747's wingspan. Wow. I did not know that. That's cool. There's the wind turbine hub there. Them taking it apart to inspect it. Wow. That's cool. There's a whole bunch of other wind farms in the area, I guess, besides Hopkins Ridge. Puget Sound Energy owns and operates the Lower Snake River Wind Facility, centered about 25 miles northeast of Dayton in Garfield County. It is a 149 turbine wind farm that is capable of generating up to 343 megawatts of electricity. PSC also owns and operates the 273 megawatt Wild Horse Wind and Solar Facility in Kittitas County. which is about 160 miles northwest of here. Together, the 3 wind farms produce enough electricity on average to serve 230,000 homes. So, interesting stuff, man. That is quite interesting. I did not know that. So cool. Some cool info there. Another sign that talks about the Gold Award for Sustainability with the wind farm stuff. Let's see if this is anything cool here. I'm sure it has to talk about something. This talks about Cayuse, Umatilla, and Walla Walla homeland. This land will always be home to the Cayuse, Umatilla, and Walla Walla people. The land is used by and shared with relatives and neighbors such as the Palouse, Wanapum, Tanino, Yakima, Nez Perce, Wyam, and Wishexcam. I don't know how to say that one. In 1805 and 1806, Lewis and Clark were the first non-Indians to travel through our homeland. There were no state boundaries here at that time. Our heritage corridor highlights cultural and recreational opportunities in northeastern Oregon and southeastern Washington. Our people traveled seasonally to hunt, trade, gather foods, visit family and neighbors, and find suitable village sites. After we acquired the horse in the early 1700s, we traveled as far as present-day Montana and the Great Plains to the east and California and the Pacific Ocean to the south and west. Celilo Falls is located along the Columbia River about 180 miles 180 miles west of Dayton. It was the biggest fishery in the Northwest, and our people gathered there in the spring and fall to fish and trade. Our journeys brought us into contact with new foods and trade items, and we shared news and information with other tribes. This shows a map of all of the places that the tribes were here in this area. Historical sites and heritage sites all over the place in here. Pretty neat. This talks about this being a good road here. Ancient passage between the rivers. On the advice of the Walla Walla people, the Lewis and Clark expedition followed a good road, plenty of deer and antelopes, that led travelers overland between the Columbia and Walla Walla and Snake. Between the Columbia, Walla Walla, and Snake Clearwater River confluences. The expedition traveled approximately 100 miles on this route between April 30th and May 5th of 1806. For centuries, American Indians used the same trail as principal routes between rivers. Later, other explorers, fur trappers, traders, miners, and settlers followed the route. The exact location of the trail is unclear, but most historians believe that it passed through Dayton here. This is a place where the deer and the antelope play. Heck yeah! American pronghorn no longer live in Washington, but can be found in other parts of the Northwest. Biologists are researching the possibility of restoring the species in the state. Although the pronghorn is often called an antelope, it is not a true antelope. April 27th, 1806, the Indians informed us that there was a good road which passed from the Columbia opposite to this village to the entrance of the Cuscui Clearwater River on the south side of Lewis's Snake River. They also informed us there was plenty of deer and antelopes on the road with good water and grass. that the country or the county was level and the road good. Under those circumstances, we did not hesitate in pursuing the route recommended by our guide and corroborated by Yetelipit and others. William Clark. We knew that a road in the direction, we knew that a road in that direction, if the country would permit, would shorten our route by at least 80 miles. Interesting. So this is named Flour Mill Park. So I wonder if there used to be a flour mill on this site. I'm not seeing a sign either, unless it's way down yonder. There is a little creek here. I guess I could take you over here and look at it. Might as well, since we're here. Yeah. Of course I did. Yeah, there is a little creek here. Or it looks kind of like a pond. Interesting. I could still smell that old building smell. It's just all over the place here. Every time I take a breath, all I smell is old building smell. I don't know what it is, but man, this sunset's going to be pretty nice. That's for sure, guys. Well, let's continue walking down the boulevard now. I got distracted by informative signs. You guys can see it's currently 7:29 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. 64 degrees outside. Just a beautiful, beautiful spring afternoon. That it is, Kelly. That it is. Beautiful, beautiful little town. Spring, yes. Spring. Spring. There's a little brewery here. We got pizza. Buckwheat Pizza Company. What's up, Buckwheat? That's a cool little mural. Brew pub. Here we go, underneath of this here. Buckwheat Brewing. We got a sign about this building here. This is kind of interesting up here. This was Chris Furniture, 1947, this building was. I guess we could get a little far away shot of this side since we're not walking over there anymore. So you guys can see the full meal deal of what we saw there. And then what we're looking at now. The Baptist church here. Well, it looked like this had a little placard on it, but it's missing now. Elk Drug. This says since 1889. We can. Oh, look! There's another mural. That's cool. Looks like this building was 1947, and it says it was a Shell Oil Company building. So, Elk Drug must have moved into this building at some point. It says they have a soda fountain in there. There's the City Hall fire station there. That's a cool building there. There's a mural here. Hotel, looks like Hotel Dayton. And one of the fraternal halls. And the flour mill. Cool. Let's get a little closer and look at that. It has like a little ditty about something over there. I don't think it was about Jack and Diane, though. Schwabacher and Broughton. Fallen winter stock. Heretofore received. Dress goods from fine silks and Henriettas is unsurpassed, and variety of trimmings to match. For approval of exacting tastes. Ladies desiring winter cloak or wrap shall not fail to inspect our assortment, which includes sealet palettes, Dolomites, Ulsters. I have no clue what any of this stuff is. Newmarket's jackets, Majeskas, etc. at prices lower than the lowest. Shoes at every imaginable grade for gents and boys, for ladies, misses, and children. Boots for boys and men from the best factories in the East and West. We had carpets, body Brussels. Body Brussels? What? Tapestry Brussels, Kidder Ministers, Ingrains. Must be something about carpets. I don't know, man. Our stock of gents and boys clothing, overcoats for men, boys, and children, gents, furnishings in all kinds and most seasonable style, rubber boots and shoes in every size. One price to all. Schwabacher and Broughton. Cool. This is so cool. And there's like all sorts of, you can just look down streets here and there are just old Victorian style houses just everywhere. It's so cool. Let's look at this picturesque sunset going on, man. This is cool. Gotta love it. Gotta love adventuring, man. Taking in the sights, the sounds and smells of one of Washington's oldest communities here. Northwest Grain Growers. This used to be a bar and grill, but it is no longer anything. This Burdett's Pool Hall. This is an older building, 1898. Wow, that's a cool little doorway. Looks like this used to be the Eagles building. Got little murals painted on the building too. Hey, there's a cat in the little window up there. That's cool. Man, this is gonna look really cool when the trees all bloom. These look like these are like chestnut trees or something, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments what they actually are. Look at this building. Dayton Books and Gifts, or at least it was at one point in time. Angle Building, 1887. Here's an antiques place. Annie's Attic. It looks like Annie's doing some reorganization here. Wow, look at this building. It's for lease. This wood facade there, that is so cool. This is the Wallace building. It's built in 1895. Wow. Then we've got the Hanan building, 1889 here. I have not been to Lewis and Clark State Park. I might have to put that one on the itinerary at some point to revisit down here. Salon and Spa Boutique. Aylis and Bowers building, 1900. Totally, Kelly. This is so cool. Native American picture there. That is cool. Karaoke by Cat. So this is where the Eagles place is now. Whoa, whoa. This is cool. Check that out. That is really open and inviting, man. This must be the extension to the Eagles. Chandler's Meat Market is what this building was. Has like a little awning here that's really neat too. So yeah, this is the Dayton Eagles place now. This is neat too. Once again, it's got a giant awning on it. This one doesn't have a placard on it unless on the side of the building here. Looks like there is a little place in here. It looks like it's a textiles a crafty shop. Oh, look at that. Wish I could show you a closer up shot, but it's going to glare off the window. That's kind of cool. Nothing on the side of this building here. We might as well go finish our walk down the block here, show you a closer shot of the theater and stuff, and then we'll end down at the railroad depot.
Wait.
See some of the buildings that we were looking at earlier in the video, and this sunset's getting better and better. So cool, guys. Glad I came down here today. Turned out to be a great day today. South of Spokane. It was cloudy and rainy up there when we left. There's a giant parking lot right here. That's an old sign. Freddy's drive-through parking. Where is Freddy's? I don't know. The great mystery. It must have once been here. Moose Creek Cafe and Bakery. Cool little shop. It's the attorney's building here. There's no date on it. And here we are at the Liberty Theater. Wow, look at the neon underneath of here. Look at that. That is so cool. Liberty Theater, 1921. Wow, look at this neon. Oh, this is such a stretch. Looks like they're going to have a variety show here. Next weekend, in fact. Going through the following weekend. Another law office. Wouldn't you guess? Right across the street from the courthouse. Convenient. This used to be Hubbard Coffee. 1906, Hubbard Coffee Company. And this one actually does have the date placard on top, which most of these don't have. Usually in some of the other towns, you see the buildings, when they were made, they usually put the date up there. But it's nice that they have information on the actual buildings too, just in case you don't have writing on there and you're going, when was this built? Here's the Columbia Chronicle building, 1908, and it still has the actual Columbia Chronicle written up here. That's cool. And there is like a little mural on the side of this building. Johnson Hardware Furniture probably was said at one point there. Interesting. There's a Bible quote for y'all from the church here. Cornerstone Christian Church here. And we're back down in front of the courthouse. Now, this is pretty much the end of the downtown segment. There's still a little bit of buildings here. They probably still talk about them further on down here. But I think we'll walk across the street here, go behind the courthouse. Such beautiful sunset now. Hot dang. That is awesome. This is my favorite time of the day too, guys. Like, you come out here early evening and it's just so beautiful. So freaking beautiful. I'm never able to get up at the crack of dawn, so like this is my like sunrise type thing. It's a sunset. The end of a great freaking day, man. So awesome. So freaking awesome. Well, let's go across the street here and we'll walk down the road to the place over here, the railroad building. There's a bunch of cool stuff out behind here also. There's like a feed store back behind there, really old building. Man. We're gonna see all the lights pop on, which half of them already are. This is gonna look really cool at night. You can also already see the outline of the train depot down there. It's lit up right now. This seems to be a well-traveled place too. Fitting that it used to be the territorial capital at one point, before Washington was a state. Man, all the food smells just mixing together. It's like barbecue, burgers, and pizza, and all sorts of different smells, all mixing together. Kind of make a feller hungry. Okay, so we're back over here. We're walking. These talking crosswalk things are quite interesting. Not to mention it makes a TikTok sound on you. Like, hurry up and walk across the street. All right, so here is the historic railroad depot, the first railroad depot in Washington. This is a beautiful little area here. And my sister found the book nook. Beautiful depot. And this was the first one in Washington in the late 1880s. I believe that this line was Union Pacific, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure there's something that, I'm sure they've got information in here that talks about it. This depot is so cool. Well, here's our answer, and I was correct. Union Pacific Depot, 1881. So this is so cool. This still has like the original like wood walkway that you would have walked on around the depot, sat here and waited for the train. This is also open, so you guys can come here and check it out. We just missed it, of course, because we got here late. But it's still really cool. There's little brochures to tell you about it. Maybe I can take one here and read to you guys about it. Let's find a bench here, and then I can read to you guys as we look at the train depot. I need a little spell anyway. Oh. So, agriculture in Columbia County was transformed in the early 1880s by the arrival of the railroad. Prior to the existence of the railroad, local farmers had to haul their grain over land to Walla Walla. From there, the grain was shipped by rail to the Columbia River and downstream to Portland by boat. In May of 1880, Henry Villard, the president of the Oregon Railway and Navigation Company, visited Dayton and announced the company's plans for linking the wheat country more directly to Portland by rail. A short branch line would be built into Dayton if citizens would donate the right-of-way and a depot site. The arrival of the OR&N line in the summer of 1881 ensured sustained economic vitality for Dayton as a shipping center of farm products. Dayton's handsome new wood-frame passenger depot, designed in fashionable stick and Eastlake style, was erected in 1881 along the main line, across the Touche River and south of downtown. On July 19, 1881, engine number 439 pulled the first passenger train to leave Dayton for Walla Walla. Originally, Dayton was the terminus of the track. Service was later extended to Turner, 20 miles to the east. The Union Pacific Railroad took control of the OR&N line and depot in 1887. 2 years later, in 1889, a second railroad entered Dayton. The new right-of-way altered the character of downtown Dayton and changed the nature of its future development. It was not until 1899 that the then nearly 20-year-old OR&N depot was moved on roller logs pulled by a horse and winch to a new location on parallel tracks at the Commercial Street right-of-way. The train station served a nucleus of downtown until it was closed in January 1, 1972. The depot was reopened to the public in July 1981 as a heritage building museum. The depot has been altered only slightly in the 120 years of its existence. It is a two-story frame structure with a cross-frame gable shake roof. The second story, formerly the station master's quarters, provided access to the balcony running on the three sides of the building. The wood brackets that support the balcony are a prominent feature of the structure. A three-sided bay window on both levels of the north side provides a view of the tracks to the east and west. The interior walls are the original beaded board, typical of the era, or typical of the area. All of the rooms have high ceilings and wainscoting. The freight scale is intact and usable. This oldest surviving railroad station in Washington State was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1974. The Dayton Historical Depot Society, a nonprofit corporation, was formed in August of 1974. The Union Pacific Railroad donated the depot and adjoining property to the Dayton Historical Depot Society on May 23, 1975. Pretty cool stuff, guys. That is so cool. We've got like a little tool implement building here, or a little display. Shows some of the implements that they used back in the day. We got caboose lanterns here. A bunch of stuff like winches, and if it was a little lighter I could read this better, but I'm having a hard time trying to see through this because it's getting kind of dusk, towards dusk here, so it's hard to read some of the placards on here. But there is a placard here for the depot. The oldest existing depot in the state of Washington. Pretty much what I already told you guys about. We can walk around the front side of this building. This back side is really cool. Here, look at that. All of these buildings have murals on the back side of them telling you what the place used to be. Probably original stuff too. Looks pretty faded and worn. This depot is so cool. The flowers are blooming too. Check it out. Those are cool. You can see the tracks are still here. Wow. This is like the perfect angle right there. You get the sunset. So cool. You walk down to the corner here, you can see the railroad line. Got Mr. Conductor sitting there making sure everything's running on time. Wow, this is so cool. That is so neat, guys. The Western Union Telegraph Cable Office here. See, they still have the sign to it. Cool. We don't have to worry about getting run over by trains because I don't think any have come here in a while. I would love to know the last time an actual train came through here, though, since the line is still here. So if anybody ends up watching this from Dayton, let me know in the comments. Got the elevation on here. 1,600 feet. I guess we can walk through the park back here because this is real neat. Walk behind the depot again. This building is so cool. It's got me. Well, here we can see the shield. Northern Pacific Shield. So this sign is from the Micah station, which closed in 1968. This was circa 1920 to 1950. Pretty cool. We got like the lights that went on the back of the caboose there. And then a bell. Is that a train bell? Diesel locomotive bell made by Western Railroad Supply. Typical of locomotives bells used by the Union Pacific circa 1940 to 50. Pretty cool. This little park is quite interesting. It's like on the back side of all of these buildings, which are pretty well lit as well. I'm going to stay on the path here before we go around all the guys over here. Man, this is so cool. There's a Union Pacific train car. That's what I'm walking towards here. Or a Union Pacific caboose, I mean. And they've got an old switch there. Switch stand. And like a mile marker. Mile marker number 69. Of course it would be mile marker 69. What else would it be? Sorry, I got carried away there. Cool caboose, still has the cupola on top. I wonder if the seats are still up there. Of course, we can't go inside of it because it's locked. I remember from the last time I came down here. But this is Union Pacific number 25219. I wonder if that's the build date there, 4 of 52. This has a whole, like a information placard on the back side of it. But I'm not sure what it means. If anybody knows, let me know. Is that built in 1952? It was last inspected in 1980. Pretty interesting. Of course, they have a thing that says, please stay off the top of the caboose, because the ladder still goes up to the top. Pretty neat. We can walk. Tell you guys what, let's go walk across on the backside of these buildings. Check them out. There might be something cool on them. Once again, I can smell the old building smell. It just comes in waves. It's like you smell food, and then you smell old building. And then it's food again, and then old building. This one says Frontier 2 Tavern. They must have apartments up on top of here, which is kind of cool. This looks like a great hangout spot up there on top of that building. I imagine that's probably somebody's apartment up there. This used to have a bunch of windows here, that they bricked over some of them. There's a Bobcat mural on that building there. I love that they used like a train sign thing for the restroom, public restroom. Pretty cool. This is Monet and Hamilton's Hardware and Implements building. Backside here. We're in the back alley at nightfall here. Hopefully no rough activity goes on here. This is Edwards and Hindleberry or something, or Edward and Hindle Company, the house of something. I can't see it. The light is blinding me. So I think we'll end on the note walking up behind the courthouse over here, back to the car. So I think we'll cross here. and we'll go off behind on this street here adjacent to the railroad. Get you one last shot of the depot here. Beautiful. Oh, I think somebody had too much beer, if you guys heard that. Beautiful. Man, I love this depot. There's an old Union Pacific little railroad car. I forget what these are called. If anybody knows, let me know. And we'll end up here on the backside of the courthouse. And we'll be almost back to the car. I am still working on the Samo Mountain video. I'm almost done with it. I'm making some tweaks to it. I still got to add some music and stuff, but that one will be done here very, very soon. And I will throw up a teaser because I have a couple of them that I shot while I was up there. Little vertical ones for shorts. I'll throw that one out here pretty soon. Be a little sneak peek of what you're going to see there at the top of it. But this is cool. The backside of this courthouse. Now that the sun's set. Courthouse is all lit up. But that will be the next long form video on the channel. Will be Samo Mountain Lookout. So just pay attention. I'll let you guys know before I drop it. A couple days before. That way it gives you time to prepare. I think pretty much I'll probably end up dropping it on one of the weekend days so that you guys will have a large slot of time, because it's going to be about a 30-minute video. But yeah, it'll be a pretty cool adventure. Just like this was. So cool. Do. I will, Kelly. I'm gonna flip this back around to me here. I don't know. Well, guys, that's going to do it for me out here in Dayton, Washington tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the walk around and look at the whole town here, or at least the downtown section of Dayton. And if you guys enjoyed it, go ahead and smash that like button for me and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, man. We're getting ever so closer to 1,000 subscribers, and I appreciate you guys so very much for supporting me on this journey. And I appreciate y'all dropping in and hanging out with me tonight here as we explored the town. And as always, my friends, adventure on, and I'll see you somewhere here in the next one. Have a good night, my friends. Stay safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't take any wooden nickels. You know, the huge stuff. And and I'll see you somewhere out here in the next one, my friends.